Hey team, happy Wednesday. So if you're newer to the team, today is our Coach Q&A Wednesday that we have every other week. And you're welcome to always send Coach Ray or I questions that you might have, things that are kind of rolling around in your head, things that are puzzling you, stumping you in your training, whatever it might be. We really tend to talk about everything. It's sort of a mixed bag in these sessions. So I didn't actually get any very specific questions for today's session. So what I'd like to do today, and by the way, I do apologize for the technical hiccup. My camera wasn't working earlier, so we're a little bit late to the show, but still made it. But anyhow, today what I wanted to break down is goal setting. And this is a process that can be applied across any level of triathlon, endurance sports, strength work, life, professional goals, personal goals, relationship goals. It's always good to have a vision of where we want to go and not settle for the status quo, regardless of where we're at. It's to stagnate and to be comfortable, if that's really what you're good with, that's okay. But honestly, I don't think any of us are part of the Babe family to just be okay where we're at. We're all pretty darn good at vocalizing growth that we wish for ourselves in some area or another, whether it be, like I said, life, sport, relationships, professions. There's always room for growth, incremental, massive improvement, whatever it might be. Just always be taking that next step to grow your expertise, your existence. So today I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to look at this, of course, within a sport context, but like I said earlier, you can apply. Hey Kelly, good to see you. We're just doing a coach Q&A today. I'm talking about goal setting and breaking down a lot of what seem to be massive goals. So the first place to start with any goal, whether it be big or small, is to truly get a good look at where you want to go. For some of us, this may be finishing our first sprint triathlon. For other people, it may be one day qualifying for the World Championships in Kona, Hawaii. It doesn't matter. It's all relative to where you're at and where you want to go. But, the biggest thing is that we can have this vision, but we also want it to be quantifiable. So it's all good and well to say, I want to finish my first sprint triathlon. Cool. What's your timeline? Do you want it to be 2 years from now? Do you want it to be next month? And how far is that sprint triathlon? Say it's a half-mile swim, a 15-mile bike, and a 5K run. That's awesome. You've identified your distances. It's now measurable. It's quantifiable. It's not just some words and an idea. From there, you start looking at where you're at and how far you need to grow in order to cross whatever finish line, whether it's physical or more conceptual, how far you need to grow in order to cross that finish line. So if you're able to already bike 15 miles, run a 5K, but you can only swim a quarter mile, you need to grow in endurance and fortitude by a quarter of a mile than where you're currently at. That's awesome. Breaking it down even further, you've got your timeline. Okay, next year, next season, 2020, we're going to be able to finish a half-mile swim, 15-mile bike, 5K run. I've already checked 2 of those off the list. How do you go about addressing that limiter? That's really where you want to start. What is limiting? What's the biggest limiter that's capping your growth? In this person's case, in this athlete's case, it would be her swim. She'd need to figure out, break down that growth of being able to swim not just a quarter mile, but a half mile in the next year. So we're looking at, is it just simply that she needs to do more training, more volume in the pool and in open water? Is it swim anxiety? Do we need to start figuring out, hey, Wanda, thanks for joining. Do we need to figure out some mental strategies that will help this badass athlete learn how to calm herself, be centered, and be successful and be strong in the water? Is it a technique issue? Do we need to fix, maybe learning how to swim in a straight line, something we talked about in our swim group this past Sunday? Is it sighting? Is it the fact that this athlete can already perhaps swim a half mile broken up in a pool, but not in straight water? So there's a lot of different small, very, very bite-sized that come into figuring out what the limiter is on this bigger umbrella goal. Okay, so we've got finish a sprint try. We're now down to, like, say this is a meal. I'm sorry, a lot of my analogies are food related. Can you tell it's about lunchtime? But say we've got this umbrella goal. This is like our 10-course meal. So figuring out the swim, this is like learning how to fix the salad. And then within that salad, maybe the technique is like a tomato. Okay, so how do we grow the tomato? I just thought of this offhand, by the way. Sorry if this is a wacky analogy. So, we're going to learn how to grow the tomato of addressing this swim technique piece within the context of the larger swim. All right, so from there, it's, do we need to reach out to people that have greater expertise in the area of open water swimming? Do we need to perhaps have a video swim analysis? What does the training plan look like between now and next season when we've set our goal? What does the training plan look like to address it on a weekly and a daily basis? Do we need to do more strength work? So you guys can see that we're just dialing down, drilling down to where it's truly just a daily exercise of working on what seems to be a very, very small goal, but it builds into success in the long term towards this larger, big, awesome, what I call BHAGs, big, hairy, awesome goals that we have for the longer term for ourselves. If we just always think, and I'm not suggesting here to simply lose sight of the big goal, but if, just more personally right now, I'm waking up every day, 101 days from now, not like I'm counting or anything, I'll be doing my second Ironman at Ironman Florida. Waking up every day, yes, it's in my consciousness that, well, in 101 days, I'll be towing the start line at Panama City Beach to do Ironman Florida. I'm super excited. That's also a super intimidating goal to wake up and go, I'm going to do Ironman Florida. Cool. But how do I get closer to that goal today? Well, today, I'm going to do my strength work, because for me, the run has always been my limiter. Why is the run my limiter? Because I have weak hips. So during my strength workout today, I'm going to do a lot of hip stabilization work. I'll be doing functional strength. So you see how that big goal gets broken down very, very quickly. Hey, April, good to see you. Talking about goal setting and breaking things down into very bite-sized chunks. But like I was saying, you guys can see how very quickly we can drill down to really the core of what we can do to take the next best step today, right now, to achieve our long-term goal of whatever amazing, beautiful, badass goal that we have that really takes us out of our comfort zone. You have to start with what you can do today. And so I'm happy to honestly do a goal setting session with anybody, whether we coach one-on-one or not. This is so important just for our growth as badass women, as athletes, as siblings, spouses, partners, engaged citizens in our communities to have these goals on our minds on a day-to-day basis. So just a couple things that I want to impart, and then we'll wrap. So within this goal setting process, but also this goal setting journey, chasing these larger goals, over time, things happen. Sometimes, stuff goes sideways and you need to adjust. That doesn't mean you have to walk away completely, and also doesn't mean that you're quitting if you make adjustments. So today, for instance, say my car broke down. Knocking on wood, it does not, but if I'm not able to go to the gym, how am I going to do my strength work so that I can continue to run healthfully? Well, I can either switch my training plan around a little bit, get creative. I can maybe do some body weight stuff versus the gym-based work that I was going to do today. So making micro adjustments, that's okay. Also making macro adjustments as to, where you're at and what's going on, that's okay too. Just if it's something that matters that much to you, don't let go just when things start to get tough, because they will be hard. They will be hard, but this process, this working day in, day out in micro steps towards the goal, that is what gives you the fortitude to ultimately achieve the big goal. So the journey towards the start line to your first sprint triathlon, it's going to test you. You're going to have days where you think, I can't do this. That's okay. It's part of the process. But some of it's a grind, some of it is being inspired, but a lot of it is just habit and gumption that you get out and get after this big limiter that you have of your swim stroke, just keeping after it. That is what will give you the gumption, the fortitude, the mental strength to actually get to the day of the race, to toe the start line and say, I'm ready. I'm going to do this. It's going to be amazing, and I'm going to give it my all. But that's what gets you to that day of your test, of your challenge, of your accomplishment, to actually see it through. It's the journey, not just the end goal. So remember that. But also don't be afraid, like I said, to shift, make adjustments, and get creative, because life, these goals don't exist in a vacuum. They exist within life, and stuff happens. So that's okay. I'll also say, don't be afraid to ask for help. We here in Team Babe, we're a family. I know that we talk about this a lot, but truly we come from such a diverse background of stories, skill sets, experiences, just anything you could imagine. And I know that there's pieces that we don't even know about each other that if you just need help with something, put it out to the team, or, reach out to Coach Ray or to I or to me and see if we can get creative in helping you achieve your goals. Don't be afraid to ask for help for people that are better experienced in whatever area it is that you're struggling with than you. I reach out for help all the time. I have coaching mentors, I have life mentors, both within sport, but also within life. So, and also surround yourself with people that are going to support you, hold you accountable, but also love on you and give you that mirror, so to speak, that you can see how amazing you are within, like, through the eyes of the people that know you best. So, because sometimes we live in a fishbowl, and it's hard to see your own progress. So if you have that core group of support network, and we can, like, our Babe family can be that for you. That's why we created this group, quite honestly, in this team. But having that insular group of people around you that are able to buoy you up, give you that progress that they're seeing in you that you might not see yourself, that's critical. And they'll also be able to help you stay accountable to your goals with love and with grace, but but to also help remind you that, this is something you set out to do, and it's going to be worth it. and they'll be with you, cheering you on the entire way. And all of this I say from experience, but also from past failures of not employing these strategies. So take my word for it if you are the rare unicorn that has not failed along the way towards your big goals at some point. Like I said, also talking about whatever it is you're up to. I know sometimes different groups in our lives may not like to hear about triathlon 24/7 or running or whatever it is. But like I said, find that core group that you can just share your joys, share your challenges, share your experience, your day in, day out grind of what you're up to, and that will celebrate and also, provide understanding and support to you along the entire way. And then something else that I highly recommend for all of our athletes, make a vision board. I know it sounds like crafty, something you did in high school, maybe decoupage. It doesn't have to be crazy. It can be just as simple as getting a piece of paper out of a notebook, pulling something out of the printer. There are even apps that you can do this on your phone. But create a vision board and put it somewhere that you see it every damn day. So, and we've talked about this a little bit in the past, but put pictures up there of when you felt inspired, when you felt accomplished, when you have achieved former amazing BHAG goals that you just kick through the roof and you crushed them, so that you remember what that feeling is like when you achieve whatever goal it is that you're working towards at this moment. And then also you can write down your incremental goals on there. My race vision board for this season, sure, it has Ironman Florida on there. It has a picture of my 70.3 a couple years ago where I crushed a big time goal for me at that time. But it also has do strength work every day. It also has, did you do your planks today? Like things like that, keep you grounded to the concept and the practice that this is a daily exercise in progress and in a journey towards a larger goal. You can put inspiring quotes on there, whatever it is, something that just helps you stay true and stay focused to the task and to the road at hand. Because it's not just one task, it's multiple small tasks that we do every day that lays the foundation and slowly builds the walls, etc. So as you guys can tell, I'm very passionate about goal setting and doing the small things that it takes to get to whatever big growth set point that we establish for ourselves. I like to read, so I wanted to share real quick a couple of good reads that I have recently been delving into to support my own personal growth, but also help with my own personal goal setting. I know several of y'all have read this, and this book is by David Goggins called Can't Hurt Me. It is sort of a take on his journey, but it's more of a toolkit, if you will, for overcoming your personal limitations while working towards your own big goals. So I will say there's a lot of cussing in it, but if you can look past that, or if that resonates with you, awesome. But I will say that is one of the best, no nonsense, no bullshit pieces that I've personally been reading and resonating with for helping me grow as a human. So highly recommend. Let me know what you think. I think Lindsay recently read it and said she really enjoyed it. So check it out. Actually, if anybody wants to do a book club around that, let me know. That'd be super cool to work through as a team. And then just a couple of things that have been on my own personal reading list. Y'all know Dr. Stacy Sims. I'm a huge fangirl, but Roar, if you're looking to expand your personal knowledge on female physiology, nutrition, that's just always a huge factor for us as women athletes and something that can always help us towards our goals. So highly recommend that book. It's really good. Yes, Wanda, vision board. But Roar is really good at just addressing a lot of different concepts that we encounter as female athletes. All right, I got 3 more for you. All right, so a few of our athletes recently have taken on some crazy cool goals, many of which involve me leveling up to be able to coach these badass athletes. So I am currently honing my knowledge on power meters. If you don't know what a power meter is, it essentially is just another tool that helps us measure output and progress on the bike. Great tool. While I've had good knowledge, this is helping me hone my own skill set so that I can better coach these athletes to much more incremental progress on the bike. So a little dry, but it's good. And then 2 more just because I love to cook. The anti-inflammatory diet is pretty cool. Lots of really good recipes. And then Jesse Kropelnicki is a pretty well-renowned expert on endurance training nutrition. So that's been on my read list as well. So I'd, of course, be interested to hear what everybody else has been reading. Let me know if you guys have any good suggestions, or if you would be interested in doing kind of a working out loud group on Can't Hurt Me. And if you need help on goal setting, holla. It'll be fun. Happy to help be a sounding board for goal setting, breaking things down, figuring out an action plan. Sometimes it's helpful to have a second set of ears to help you process, and it's always better over a glass of wine or a good craft beer. But I hope everybody is having a phenomenal Wednesday. Hope that this talk was helpful. If we need to drill down any further, let me know. Happy to always talk more in depth about any aspects that might be of curiosity or interest to you guys. So looks like Wanda, Kelly, April, you guys have tuned in. So thanks for joining me live. Hope you guys are having a good afternoon, and we'll talk to you later. Have a great one.